And aloha! Welcome to the BlueNote Fan Reports Intermission Show. And this is my last show of the day. I'm going to be on the Blue Notes podcast for the post game. And I think I might be doing a show with my buddy Lance from the Drop Hockey Podcast. How you doing, Lance?
Not too bad. Are you?
Hey, we still got a show coming up today or tomorrow?
I've got to figure it out. Probably gonna be tomorrow.
Okay, good, man. I got a special guest tomorrow. I'm excited. He texted me, and I have the Hockey Hound, the rumor mill. Hockey, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. The Blues look pretty good this period.
Yeah, that was not a bad period, and that goal was not as bad as people think it was. Right?
Can we please talk about that block to the groin that just happened a few minutes
ago? I'm still feeling that. That hurt.
Man, Sanford needs a dinner bought for that. Like, that was a hell of a block.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he purposely blocked it. I think that shot was just lasered in on him.
Right.
Right. That was, well, you played Lance, and you played goalie, so you know what a shot to the groin feels like, man. You know, what's Sanford feeling right now?
He's hurting, and he's going to have a big welt on his leg or his groin, wherever it hit there. It's going to hurt and swell. It ain't going to feel good.
Right? Oh, man, this is so. I got to ask you guys what you've seen in the second, and if you think that the Blues have righted the ship, or is this just the Ducks we're playing against? I'll start with Hockey on this one. Outside looking in.
Honestly, I think the Blues played good. I'm not 100% sold on it. Yeah. I think I'm going to need to see a little bit more over a few games to see if they've actually wrote the ship, I guess. I mean, the Ducks are the Ducks, so, I mean, it is what it is, but I definitely think the Blues had a good period, and we'll see how the third goes.
Yep. So what do you think there, Lance?
Yeah, I think it was a very good period, and I'm a little cautious. You know, as you heard, the Ducks have 10 our first-round picks on their roster right now, and this should show those people that think getting a first-round pick means automatic greatness in the NHL. It doesn't mean that at all. Very few guys become great ones or very good ones, but you know, these people that jump off and on the Blues bandwagon, you know, I love you to death, but I'm not sold yet. One game against the Ducks doesn't make me buy in. Even if they'd have beat the Ducks these 2 times, I wouldn't be bought in. I want to see what they're going to do against the Wild, when they're going to be against the Avalanche, and the rest of their games with the Knights. That is going to tell you what this team really is. And you know, like I said, I love people for jumping in on the bandwagon. Yeah, they've had a pretty good game, but still some mistakes I see in the D zone. They've given up a few opportunities. Bennington's had to save them. I don't think I think the neutral zone play is a little sloppy. It hasn't hurt them because the Ducks have been sloppy too in the neutral zone. So overall, I'm definitely happy with the effort, but I'm not sold that they're now all of a sudden the cup contender.
No, I ain't either. I just had to ask the question. You know,
I know.
Yeah, I'm not sold there either. So it was Chris Shockley says, I hope a speedy recovery to Raquel. It was Raquel. That was bad. But that was just an accident. That was one player going back. Actually, Clifford got clipped by a Duck, and that knocked him down. And with Raquel coming back, that's how Raquel got knocked over him. And Raquel was probably out cold. I mean, he's probably got a concussion. There's no doubt in my mind on that. Hey, Ryan, I got to ask you a question, buddy. With everything that we've been going through with the Blues, with the loss of Bobby Plager, how did that affect, or what was the effect from outside of St. Louis, outside of the fan base? I know you cover mainly Columbus, but you also, you know, dip in with everybody else. So what is the reaction from the rest of the league?
Bobby had an impact on everybody. It wasn't just the Blues. I mean, there was outpourings coming in from fans all over, and I think we're seeing a little bit more of the Blues playing that way for Bobby. I think it's kind of a way to give back to his memory and stuff, and I think the outpouring has been just insane from the hockey community. I mean, just the effect that he had in just what he brought to the Blues community was something that is going to be very hard to replace.
Oh, we've talked about that ad nauseum, and well, actually, I shouldn't say ad nauseum, but we've talked about it a lot. My question, I kind of believe that Bobby belongs in the Hall of Fame as a builder.
Absolutely.
And the reason that I say that is there's nobody. We have hockey in a city that was never supposed to have hockey, and it was Bobby that kept it here. And no one's done more for a team than Bobby did for us, the Blues. Nobody. I can't name. I cannot name another player that has elevated a franchise just by his presence. Right? Even Gretzky didn't do that for Edmonton. Even Gordie Howe didn't do that for Detroit. You know, they had others. We had Bobby, and that's my point of view. Do you agree or disagree there? Hockey.
I agree. I think it depends on the area per se. I mean, I think a few teams have had players that, like Bobby, that meant something special to that type of or that region and stuff. But just like I said, the outpouring that you saw, the fans and stuff getting pictures with Bobby, the stories that I've been told and from tweets and stuff that's been going out, it's hard to it's going to be hard to replace Bobby in a Blues organization, which is really shocking because I would have thought that Brett Hall would have been somebody who would have been kind of rivaled as far as what Bobby has done, but Bobby is just he's done so much more for the organization.
The difference between Bobby and Brett, Bobby had character and Brett is a character.
Right.
And that's not saying nothing against Brett. It's not. It's not saying nothing against Brett. Trust me, I love Brett. And Lance, you can speak to this. But when it just came to being around the fans and elevating the je ne sais quoi of the team, that was Bobby more than Brett.
Yeah, and like I said, I got to spend time with Brett several hours, sat next to him, drinking tequila with him, and loves the city. But I will tell you this, he's got a lot going on besides the Blues. And I'm not saying that Barclay Plager was boring or didn't have any other choice but to stay with the Blues. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying Brett has a lot more on his plate, I think, at this time in his life. Maybe when he's a little bit older, he'll have more time. You know, we all have more time when we're older and our kids are fully grown and everything. And, you know, like you said, he lives in Nashville. People give him heck for it, but Nashville's a nice city. If the man wants to live in Nashville, by all means, live where you want to live. And he still loves the city. He, like I said, he talks about the city, talked about his time here with Grant that night. Panger was there, Pronger was there. And they all talked about good times here in St. Louis. And Brett loves the city, and he will definitely do what he can. But like you and I agree, it's probably going to take a group of 4 to 6, 7 guys to fill him, how much time he spent for the organization. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
Yeah, I found out too during the first during the first period that I'm not winning jersey anymore.
Yeah,
$775 is what I bid, and it's now up to $850. I was like, ugh. But I'm getting one.
I told you guys. I told you most of them are going to go between 1,500 and 2,000 or more.
Yeah, I don't think it'll hit 15, but it'll probably cost me a little more than the grand I want. God, it's. But and I also found out that the jersey that was for 10,000 was supposed to be 1,000. That was a mistake, and they fixed it.
Okay, because I was going to comment on that. I saw you posted the $10,000 jersey, and I'm like, man, that's a little expensive.
Yeah.
No, that was actually it was a mistake. But you know, see, now you say that, but Tarasenko's jersey's at 4,200.
Yeah.
Right. Tarasenko, you get a bidding war on his. I could see that hitting 10 grand. I really could. I could see O'Reilly's hitting 10 grand. It's not there yet.
To me, that's nuts. I love our players. Yeah. The only guys I would ever pay that kind of money for a jersey if it was signed like during one of the great seasons would be a Gretzky, a Howe, a Harvey, a Bobby Orr, Mario Lemieux, Brett Hall, those type of guys. If I had the money and they were signed and everything, I might pay that. And I love Barkley. I love him to death, and I love Bobby and all the whole family to death. But I'm sorry, I couldn't justify the $10,000.
No, I couldn't. You know, I have a number in my mind, and what I plan on going to. But with all that being said, so hey, let's get back to the game real quick. One thing I'm seeing from the Blues that you've touched a little bit is neutral zone play. Neutral zone play has not been where it should be. What's missing?
Well, when it comes to neutral zone play, you got to execute. You got to play your game plan. You know, we've seen other teams play the Blues 1-3-1 defense, and it's been stymieing the Blues in the neutral zone. I don't know why the Blues can't play that form, you know, or that style in the neutral zone. And maybe it's because their defensemen come up a lot and they're afraid that, you know, they're not going to get as much offensive opportunities because, you know, this team, a lot of people keep messaging me on Twitter. We're losing because we're not heavy. We're not heavy, so we're losing. I'm getting sick and tired of that. That's got very little to do with this team winning. This team this month not winning is scoring. You've got to score goals to win games. You're not going to win every game 2-1, 1-0, and everybody's like, well, we were heavy for our Stanley Cup run. Go back and look at some of those games against the Stars, against the Sharks, against Winnipeg, against Boston. They weren't 1-0 games, you know, 2-1. There was very few low-scoring games. You got to be able to score.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So, Hockey, I got to ask you this from the Columbus Eastern, or actually, you guys are in the Central.
Right.
How big of a surprise is Chicago to you guys?
I don't know if it's so much of a surprise to other Jacket fans, but I have given so much credit to the Blackhawks organization for being able to turn around the team as much as they have without Jonathan Taves. I mean, Kevin Lankinen has been the backstopping bone for this team, and players have had to step up around him. I mean, at the end of the day, I think the Hawks are going to end up fitting into the playoffs really nicely, and I think they're going to give a little bit more trouble to some teams than what's expected.
Could they legitimately beat Carolina or Tampa?
No.
So you see it going 6 maybe?
If anything, Carolina, I think with Hawks, I think they could go 6. Tampa, I think it would go 5.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a legitimate question, right? I mean, taking back. Now, the next question is, go ahead.
I think the Hawks are weak in goal, and I think that's going to show up in the playoffs. I mean, Subban, in my mind's not that great. And if you get a goalie that gets hurt and you got to bring in your backup, I think it's going to hurt him. And I think defensively, they're not as good as they've been for some past years during their cup runs. You know, when Duncan Keith was younger and so strong and the other guys. But I think they're strong offensively. And if they get leads 3-0, 4-0, you're in trouble with them. But I think in close games, when it comes down to it, especially in the playoffs, they're going to have issues with teams. But I fully agree with him. 5 games against Tampa, 6 or 7 against the Hurricanes. But I mean, they could surprise somebody. I mean, look at what the Blues did. They come back from being in points in last place, and they come back and won and played strong throughout the playoffs and won the Stanley Cup. So I'll never say never, but I don't see them making it past the first round.
I mean, I agree, but think about it this way, though. What a problem to have, though, knowing that they have gone this well without Jonathan Taves. And even if they don't go long this year, now they know what pieces they need to build around for next year. And I think the Hawks are going to be a dangerous team next season.
I absolutely am in with you guys on that. I'm really looking at, especially when you go back to regular divisions next season. So, guys, this is my last show for today. I'm going to be on the Blue Notes podcast for the post game. They asked me to come on. I know Lance is working on something. I have a special interview with the Blondie from the Blues. I can't say any more than that. And I've actually had a couple more former Blues talk to me that I'm looking at maybe 3 or 4 interviews in the next week or so. So much fun. I got to get you in on one of these here soon, Hockey. Got to get you in on one of my interviews. I've had Lance come in with Mike Zook, and these guys are a lot of fun, right?
A lot of fun.
All right, Mike opened up a lot, and then you've talked with you did the pregame and the intermissions with Mike Zook, and you see how much fun those guys are.
Yeah, I've interviewed a lot of people, and it's normally fun. They're all great guys, and Mike Zook's just a down-to-earth guy that stayed in St. Louis and is trying to build a business and doing very well at it, but his heart still pumps blue blood. So,
oh yeah, that is an absolute. Well, guys, I can't wait to talk to you later. We don't have another game until Friday, so maybe we'll try and do something midweek. I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Hockey, keep me informed if you hear anything on the trade front. I got Jeremy Miller. I cannot forget him. He is in the producers' rounds. Got to bring you in just to say hi, Jeremy.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello, guys.
Not much.
Thank you all so much, and I will catch you on the next Blue Note Fan Report, and catch me on Blue Notes. Aloha, mahalo, and let's go Blues!
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's